Williams, yoga teacher and personal trainer. And today's class is going to be what I call an alignment flow class. So it's not a vinyasa class. There's not continuous movement throughout the class, although there will be some flowing transitions and then sometimes pausing in postures to really focus and learn how to engage your muscles, and also focusing on the breath to create more space in the lungs and engagement through the abdominals. So I'm glad you're here with me today. Today's theme for the class is to find your center. So finding your center by taking time to focus in on your breath and to also allow any of your external focuses to maybe put aside for now, and to bring your awareness to your body and your inner landscape. And so as we begin to tune into our bodies and our breaths, really getting to know ourselves on a deep level. And I often call this our epicenter of ourselves, or the inner landscape, if you will. And so we'll be doing that by focusing on the breath today, and we'll also be focusing on the physical aspect of learning how to engage your center, your midline, sometimes called the core. That's kind of a loose term, but and also not engaging your core so much so that you forget to breathe, because sometimes we will tend to hold everything in and the diaphragm isn't allowed to move the way that it's supposed to. So as we practice today, just keeping in mind there that you move at your own pace, that you listen to your body, and everyone's breathing rate is different. So remembering to listen into your body, and if you need to take a break, that's fine with me. So let's go ahead and begin here with a measured breathing exercise. So you can close your eyes, let your hands rest comfortably in your lap, sitting up tall and allowing your sit bones to ground down into your folded blanket or the floor. And so we'll breathe in through the nostrils to a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And at your own pace now, there, 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out, for 2 more breaths. And at the bottom of this exhale, you can bring your hands together at your heart space, dropping the measured breathing normally, naturally for now. And as the hands are to the heart space, seeing if you can just begin to allow your mind to focus more on your heart center, more on your body as it sits here, as you're in the room. committing to this practice today. Nodding, bowing in towards that intention. And releasing your hands down to your lap. Allow your eyes to come to an open. And so we'll begin today in a child's pose. Feel free to pad your knees if you need padding for the knees in child's pose. You can widen your knees about hip distance apart. Send your hips back towards your heels and walk your hands forward. Rest the forehead either on the floor or a block. And keep your arms straight and active so the elbows ideally are lifted. And begin to tune into your natural rhythm of your breath. And you might focus on, with your inhalations, feeling that the back lungs can expand the rib cage, right around the shoulder blades. And as you exhale out each breath, connecting to a toning through the abdominal wall, almost like you have a corset around your torso and someone's tightening all the strings with your exhalation. So we have that reciprocity of is spaciousness and the expansion with each inhale, circumferentially expanding through the torso and the ribs. And on the exhale, feeling the contraction, that drawing in towards the midline, towards your center. Good. On your next in-breath, as it moves in, come forward into a tabletop. As you exhale, round your back. Feeling in the hollowing at the pit of your abdomen. Take another breath in here so the back body expands. And then as you exhale, send your hips back, still keeping that rounded quality in the upper back. So it's not quite child's pose. And then inhale again back into cat. So shoulders are over wrists, hips more or less over the knees. And exhaling, shifting hips back, keeping the rounding in the upper back. So let's do that 3 more times. Inhaling, cat. Should start to feel some engagement, maybe a little quivering in the abdominal wall. I'm generating some heat, some tapas here. And last time, finishing on your exhale, hips back towards the heels. And inviting you now to come into a neutral spine, tabletop. Lift the tailbone, lift the chest, lift the chin, and cow pose. Good. Exhale, lift the lower abdominals. Neutral spine. Curl the toes under now, downward facing dog. Lift the knees and the hips up and back for your downward dog. Really firming through the 4 corners of your hands. Reaching and extending through the fingertips. Lengthening the back of the neck. Put a little bend to the knees. Lift the sit bones up. And begin to stretch the heels towards the floor, maybe both at the same time without locking the knees, or maybe one at a time. And stretching the heels towards the floor, not necessarily onto the floor. Lift the right leg up to 3-legged dog. Take a breath in as it moves in here. On your exhalation, you'll come forward so that your shoulders are over the wrists And then bring your right knee forward, rounding your spine. Trying to bring your knee towards your nose, nose towards your knee. Let's do that again. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, knee to nose, nose to knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Push with your hands, get those hips high. Exhale, round the back, nose to knee, knee to nose. Twice more now. Inhale, reach up and back with that right foot. Exhale, knee to nose. And last time here. Exhale, knee to nose. Step your right foot between your hands. Lower your left knee down to the floor. It's okay to use a cushion underneath the knee. And if you need to place blocks beneath your hands here, go ahead and do that. All right. So from here, I'd like for you to walk your right foot forward just about a half of a footprint. Take a breath in here. As you exhale, straighten your right knee. Lift your ball mound, your arch of your foot, your toes towards the sky. Straightening the right leg. The left knee is bent. Inhale, bend your right knee. You might even lift your chest a little bit. Exhale, straighten the right knee. So moving from a low lunge on the inhale to a straight leg stretch, sometimes called Ardha Hanumanasana, or a half flying monkey pose. And finishing here, coming back into that low lunge with the right knee bent. If you're using blocks, you can walk the blocks forward. Step the left foot forward. Inhale, come to halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. Finding a neutral spine. Exhaling, forward fold. You might touch the floor with your fingers. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale, expanding the back body. Exhaling, forward fold. Feeling the abdominals drawing in. Again, halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Last time, halfway lift, inhale. Forward fold, exhale. Ground through both of your feet, and on an inhale, rise up, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, join the hands together at your heart center in Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach the arms out and then up. Exhale, forward fold. Feel free to use the blocks under the hands as you forward fold. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale, step your right foot back. Come onto the ball mound of the right foot and bend the left knee. And then lower your right knee. Top of the right foot flat to the floor. Inhale, rise up, Anjaneyasana. Reaching the fingers towards the sky. Exhale, take the hands down to the floor. Move your blocks aside. Find your downward facing dog pose. Breathing in here, downward dog. Let all of your air empty out. Feel a rounding in your upper back and your thoracic spine. Good. Lift the left leg up. Inhale. Three-legged dog. Exhale, bring your left knee in towards your nose, rounding the upper back. Nose in towards the knee. Inhale, three-legged dog. Exhale, nose to knee, knee to nose. 3 more times at your own pace. Inhale. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale. Exhale. Last time. Exhale. Step the left foot between the hands. Lower the right knee down to the floor. Grab your yoga blocks. So we're going to move through that Ardha Hanumanasana and the lunge. So you might step your left foot forward a little bit more. And so we'll inhale to straighten the left leg, lifting the foot except for the heel. Hips shift back. Exhale. Walk the blocks forward, your hands forward. Bend the left knee. And inhaling, straightening the left leg. Exhaling, bend the left knee. And at your own pace now, last time through, inhale, straightening the left leg. Exhale, bend the left knee. Lift the right knee. Inhaling, step the right foot forward. Come to halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, last time here. And forward fold. Ground through the feet, inhale, rise up, reach the arms up. Maybe even look up this time. And exhale, bring the hands together at your heart center. Close your eyes. And just begin to tap into the epicenter, the midline of your body, of yourself. Physical body, the mental body, spiritual body. See if you can start to align your consciousness around that center. And so with each breath, feeling that your awareness of your center can expand from your midline outwards through the outer borders of your body. And with each exhale, feeling a sense of your muscles hugging in around your bones, giving your organs a little hug. And inhaling, feeling that spaciousness, expanding from center outwards in all directions. And exhaling, feeling that exhale can hug in around the very center of you. So you feel that spanda flow of energy moving in and out. Good, open the eyes here. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Good, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, step the left foot back, lower the left knee down. Inhale, rise up, reach the arms up, Anjaneyasana. You might even look up and arch your upper back. Let's just take another breath in here for good measure, creating space from your center outwards in all directions. Exhale, feel that energy drawing in as you take your hands back down to the floor. Now this time, let's find a plank position. So hands under shoulders. Balancing on the ball mounds of the feet. Stretch back through your heels and energetically reach forward through the crown of your head. Keeping a nice long line between your ears, shoulders, hips, and heels. Take another breath in here. exhale, send your hips back, downward facing dog. Inhale, come forward to plank. Exhale, downward facing dog. Feeling yourself moving from your strong center, your spacious center. Inhaling plank. Exhaling dog. And twice more. Inhale, plank. Exhale, downward dog. And last time. And now lowering your knees down to the floor, down to your mat. You can bend your elbows, come all the way down to your belly. Point your toes back and come onto your elbows, your forearms here. So the elbows are under the shoulders, palms are down, toes point back, and you're balanced into the 3 points of your pelvis. So I like to call this a Sphinx roll up, engaging your front line, your abdomen. You'll keep your knees down throughout this. So remember that. Don't lift your knees. Good. Take a breath in here. Feel your back body, your back lungs expand. Look in towards the heart by bringing your chin in towards the chest and start to lift your rib cage, your navel, your pubic bone. You can exhale here. Your upper thighs. Don't lift your knees. And then inhale, slowly roll down. Thighs roll down, pubic bone rolls down, lower navel rolls down, lift the chest, breathing in here. As you breathe out, chin in towards the chest. Good, sternum lifts, navel lifts, pubic bone lifts, thighs lift. On the inhale, you roll down. On the exhale, you round the back and slowly lift. You should be feeling something happening in your core. One more for good measure. It's good to feel your strength. Good to know we can access our muscles when we need them. Take your hands, palms down under the shoulders. Use the strength of your arms to push yourself up. Curl your toes under. Lift your knees and hips up and back, downward dog. Just take a couple of breaths here. Exhale out your air and walk your feet forward to the top of your mat. When you get there, inhale, slide your hands up to the tops of your shins, a halfway lift. Exhale to a forward fold and bow in towards yourself, towards that center of who you are, the recognition there. Take another breath in as you press out through the four corners of your feet, still bowing. Let all of the air empty out so you feel a tone happening deep within. And then rising up, reach the arms up. Inhale. Exhale, hands to heart. So from here, we're going to grab a block, a yoga block, and place the block in between my inner upper thighs, like that. Okay. And so squeezing the block with the strength of your adductors, your inner thigh muscles, And also trying to feel that you could cinch up your yoga mat a little bit between the inner edges of your feet. So you get this nice engagement through your midline, all the way up through the pelvic floor, all the way up through the diaphragm and the tongue and the palate. Good. And keep some of that engagement happening, and you might feel it more on your exhale. We'll move through a couple of sun salutations with the block. So, best you can, try not to lose your block throughout. Inhale, sweep the arms out and up. Maybe arch your upper back a little here. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to that halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands down to the floor. And you might kind of wibble wobble your feet back, or for some of you might hop back. Couple little hops there. Take another breath in and plank. And exhale. You might lower your knees to come down to chaturanga. A little rude awakening there. I'm going to have to adjust the block. Tops of feet rooted. Squeeze the block, plant the feet down, and as your inhale moves in, come up into baby cobra. So easy not to use your legs here. The block reminds you to use your legs. Might take another breath in here. Good. Squeeze your legs, curl your toes under, push yourself up and back to downward facing dog. Just take a few breaths here. You might find that you're needing to adjust the distance of your feet according to the amount of space between the block there and your thighs. And then we're going to practice hopping the feet forward. So lift your heels and bend your knees and look at the space between your hands. Ground strong way through the hands and hop. It might take you 1 or 2 hops to get forward to the top of your mat. But when you've done that, inhale, come to halfway lift. Exhale to forward fold. Inhale, squeeze the block to rise up. Reach up through your fingers, look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Let's do that again with the block. Inhale, reach the arms up. Lift the heart space, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Bowing in. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant the hands down. Exhale, you might step or hop your feet back to chaturanga, lowering down to the belly here. Squeeze the block for baby cobra or maybe upward dog. Exhale, curl the toes under, lift the hips up and back, downward dog. Breathing here. Find your own rhythm of your breath. You're really firmly rooted through your hands. 4 corners of hands rooted, fingertips rooted. Bend the knees, lift the heels, look forward. Hop the feet forward. 1, 2, or 3 hops, however many hops it takes. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart. Good, take the block out. We'll do one more without the block. You might feel the imprint of the block there in between the thighs. Your adductors maybe still wanting to engage. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Feel the firmness of the legs drawing in. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Plant your hands down, chaturanga, dandasana. Exhale. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. A few breaths here. Exhaling out your air, bend your knees, lift your heels, look forward. And hop the feet forward. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, forward fold. Ground through the feet, inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, hands to heart. Anjali Mudra. Feel your breath. Feeling the ebbing and the flowing here. Spaciousness, the engagement, the connection. Excellent. Let's sweep the arms out and up. Get a little space here. Good. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, step the right foot back. Land on the ball mound of the right foot. Tack the left hip back. Now imagine that you have a big block between your inner thighs, a really big block. And you're going to isometrically drag your left foot back and your right foot forward to feel the inner thighs engage. You might notice your hips lift a little bit. So see if you can keep that. You might place a block underneath your right hand or fingertips just to give you a little more space. Take your left hand to your left hip. Keep hugging the inner thighs towards the midline, tacking the left hip back. Inhale to lengthen through the crown of your head. Exhale to twist from your upper rib cage spine and reach the left fingertips up towards the sky. Keep the legs strong. Keep the space of the breath, the inhale coming in, the exhale engaging. Good, take the left hand down to the floor. Step the right foot forward, inhale. Maybe find a little halfway lift here. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift again, inhale. This time step the left foot back. Land on the ball of the left foot, bend the right knee. That's it, big imaginary block between the inner thighs. Squeeze the inner thighs towards each other. Hugging your center, hugging your midline with your strength. Maybe a block underneath the left hand, right hand to right hip. I can help you to remember to tack the right hip back. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist. Lifting the right hand up towards the ceiling. Exhale, right hand down to the floor. Move the block aside, downward facing dog pose. You might stay here. Or if you'd like, you can move through vinyasa, inhaling forward plank. Exhaling chaturanga. Inhaling cobra or upward dog. Exhaling downward dog. And breathing here. Right leg up in the air, three-legged dog. Taking a breath in. Exhale, step the right foot forward. Between the hands, seal the left foot down. Really ground through both feet. And then windmill your arms out into a T for warrior two. Gazing past the fingertips of the right hand. Might feel that essence of the block, hugging inner thighs in towards each other. Interlace the fingers at your sacrum, your low back. Lift the chest, inhale. Take the hands away from the sacrum. Exhale, hinge from your hip, torso towards the right inner thigh. Try not to collapse down. And lengthen through your spine. And then take your right elbow to the right thigh, palm up. Or you might grab your block and place your hand to the inside of the right foot. Reach the rib cage open to the left. And left fingertips towards the sky. Or you can bring the arm past the ear. Keep both legs rooted, or both feet rooted. You can take your left hand down to the floor. Come onto the ball mound of the left foot. Both hands to the inside of the right foot. Lower the left knee down to the floor. You might be on your fingertips, or you might take a couple of blocks and place them under your hands. And keeping the right knee bent, the legs strong and drawing in towards the center, towards the midline. Good. Move the blocks aside. Come into downward facing dog. Or feel free here if you'd like to move through vinyasa. Inhaling forward to plank. Exhaling chaturanga, maybe knees down. Inhale cobra or upward dog. And exhale downward dog or child's pose. For 5 breaths. And finishing this exhale. If you're in child's pose, come back to downward dog. Inhale to lift the left leg, 3-legged dog. Exhale, step the left foot between the hands, seal the right foot down. Ground equally through both feet. That left knee should be bent. And windmill your hands out into a T, warrior 2. Gazing past the left fingertips. Feel your breath. Tap into your center. And interlace the fingers behind the low back sacrum. Take the hands away from the sacrum. Inhale to lift the heart. Exhale, hinge from that left hip. Try not to collapse here. Stay strong. And bring the left elbow to the left thigh or a block to the inside of the left foot with the hand on the block there. Start to rotate your rib cage to the right. Reach the right fingertips up towards the sky or the arm past the ear. Exhale, both hands to the floor. Good plank pose. Breathe in here. Exhale, slowly lower the knees. Slowly. Slowly. Good. Now we're going to make our way into a seated position. Have your knees bent, your feet about hip distance apart on the floor. Grab the backs of your legs with your hands. Lift the chest here. And then balance in between your sit bones and your tailbone. Lift the legs so the shins are parallel to the floor. You might take your hands off of your thighs here. And for a little challenge, move your arms around. You can imagine you're kind of like a floating jellyfish here, twisting and moving through your torso. You might move your torso back a little and forward. Maybe straighten your legs and bend them Now bring your feet together, your knees apart, and take your hands back behind you so that you get more of a curve in your low back, pushing down into the hands. As you inhale, press the feet together. Lift the knees equally right and left so you engage the inner thighs. Exhale, keep pressing the feet together. Widen the knees out, away from each other, and knees towards the floor. Do that twice more. Inhale, knees lift equally. Exhale, widen the knees out and down. Last time. Good. Now let's set ourselves up next for a crow pose. We'll do a malasana squat first. So, I actually like to use a blanket, rolled up or folded, to go underneath the heels. So we'll set that back about where the sit bones were earlier. That way you have some room at the front of your mat. Okay, so we'll start off standing and place the feet up, the heels up wider than your Tadasana. So the heels are up, but the ball mounds and the toes are down. And then forward fold with a knee bend. The heels are in, the toes are out. And then bring the hands together into a prayer position. Use the knees or the elbows to widen the knees a little bit. And then hug the inner thighs towards each other, towards the elbows, and round your back like you would in a cat pose. Inhale to feel space at your back. Exhale to feel a drawing in of your abdominals. Keep hugging your inner thighs towards your elbows. Feel your strength. You might stay here, or you can take your hands down to the floor, about downward dog distance. And spread the fingers a comfortable distance. I want you to grip the floor with the four corners of your hands, your fingertips, but try not to let your fingers curl up. So try to keep your fingers flat to the floor. And so then from there, I'm going to lift my butt up and hug those inner thighs in towards the triceps. And lift left foot. And I'm looking just right out in front of my fingertips on the floor. And might also lift the right foot, trying to connect the toes together, the big toes together. My elbows are just a little bent. You might rock back onto your heels again, coming back into Malasana when you're ready. So we'll come back into downward facing dog. So join me there. And just feel the lengthening out through the spine. A return of your breath in a neutral, natural, organic way. Inhale to float the right leg up. You can bend the right knee, take the right heel towards your left glutes. Try to keep your left side of your body long, not crunched. As you open your right knee towards the ceiling, and keep both hands weighted equally. Both arms straight and strong. And then see if you can start to breathe into your back body. That's it. Give yourself a little bit of a cat back through your rib cage spine, your rib cage. Notice how that tones the abdominal wall. Good, now step the right foot between the hands. Lower the left knee down to the floor. And come up to Anjaneyasana as you inhale. Join the hands together. And interlace the fingers and take the heels of the hands behind the base of the skull, elbows forward. Press the hands into the head. Press the head into the hands. Start to curl your upper back. Breathe. Bend your right knee more. Good. Now take your hands together at your heart center. Hinge forward from your right hip. Inhale here, get some space. Exhale, take your left elbow to your outer right thigh. Join the palms together, the thumbs to the sternum if you can, and look over the right shoulder. Make your legs strong. Hug your inner thighs towards each other. Good, take your left hand down to the floor, the right hand down to the floor, downward dog. And make your arms straight and strong, lift the left leg, three-legged dog. Bend your left knee, take your left heel towards your right sit bone. Pull your abdominals in as you breathe into your back body. Left foot forward between the hands, right knee to the floor. Rising up, Anjaneyasana. Finding your strength here. Take the hands together, interlace the fingers, heels of the hands to the back of the head. Press the hands into the head into the hands to lift the heart. Squeeze the thighs towards each other. Hips forward, heart up. Good, hands to heart. Take a breath in here. Exhale, hinge from the hips. Take your right elbow to your left thigh. Rotate your rib cage open to the left. Look up towards the sky. Good, and hands to the earth. Take your left knee back. Sit into kneeling. Close your eyes. Now from here, we're going to shift our hips over to the right. So the right hip will be on the floor. The heels will be over to the left. Then lift up your left foot, bend the left knee, take the left foot to the outside of the right thigh. You might move your right foot out a little bit. Good. And just pausing here. Left foot is sealed to the floor. Some of you might find that just the outer edge of the left foot is on the floor. But see if you can keep the four corners of that foot to the floor and draw the left inner knee in towards the direction of your right armpit or sternum. Now keeping that, so you're feeling maybe some lengthening here through the piriformis and the outer hip muscles. We'll reach the left arm up on an inhale. It's really focusing on finding some space and length. And on your exhale, take a twist to the left. Left fingertips or palm on the floor if you can reach your palm to the floor. I can't quite reach. The torso is a little too long for that. So a little bit of a counter twist of your navel towards the right hip. So almost like you have to bring the navel, hook it around to the right hip bone, the front hip bone. And then twisting the upper rib cage and the left shoulder to the left. Keep feeling that counter twist happening. Takes a little effort and concentration. All right, come back to center, please. Pause at center for a breath or two. We'll switch to the other side. One of my favorite ways to switch is to come back into kneeling, seated kneeling. If that's not available to you, then please just go ahead and sit to your left hip. But I like to find a place of equanimity and center between the two sides. And then we'll take the left hip down. So the feet are off to the right now. Pick up the right foot and take the right foot to the outside of the left thigh. You can see how the four corners of that right foot are on the floor. And I'm just going to widen the left heel out a little bit so that my sit bones can come closer to the floor. And most of you will notice your right sit bone is lifted off of the floor. And if that's true, I know I didn't mention this on the first side, just now thinking of this, you could put a blanket underneath the hip that's weightier, that's touching the ground. Making up words now. All right, and that'll levelize your pelvis. I know you would think you'd probably want to put a blanket under the right hip here, but it works better underneath the left. All right, so we're going to bring that the right knee in towards your left armpit. So just a gentle hugging in. You're not cranking on it. Good. Reach the right arm up alongside the right ear. Just take a breath or two in here. Find length and space, a little juiciness. And as you exhale, you can twist to the right with your upper spine, upper rib cage. Find that your right fingertips are on the floor behind you. And we're taking that counter twist of the left navel towards the left hip bone and rib cage towards the right shoulder. Head naturally rotates to the right. And we'll come back to center. Let's make our way into downward facing dog pose. So we have one more strength-based pose here coming up. Let's take a few long, deep breaths. Back body expands as you inhale. Front ribs draw in as you exhale, in towards the center and towards the midline. And then walk your feet forward or hop your feet forward to the top of the mat. And rise up, reach the arms up as you inhale. Exhale, bring your hands to your heart space in Anjali Mudra. I'm going to turn to face you. So you might want to also face the long side of your mat so you can see me. And if it's okay in your knees and your ankles, bring your feet together. Otherwise, you can have your feet hip distance apart. I don't normally recommend bringing the feet together, but for this it can be helpful. So just squeeze the inner edges of the feet towards each other. The inner calves, the inner knees, the inner thighs. Reach the arms straight up towards the sky. Inhale, feel space around the ribs. And exhale, feel a sense of drawing in. You lift your heels a little, maybe an inch or two. So that'll help you to engage your deep front line, your core. Keep your heels lifted as you come into like a mini chair. Now for many of you, this is going to be where you stay, and you could come into a chair pose, revolve chair pose, with your left elbow to your outer right thigh. So that will be your option, or you can continue to come down. Hands can be at the heart now. My heels are lifted, squeezing the inner thighs towards each other. So if you're taking this more challenging option of a side crow, you'll take a twist now to your right and left elbow to the outside of the right thigh, much like we did in that revolved lunge earlier. This might be where you stay, or you can take both of your hands, and hop back a little bit, both of your hands to your mat, and I'm hugging my right outer thigh into my left triceps pretty strongly here. And then I'm just going to start to transfer weight over into both of my hands, and try not to let my head go boom on the floor. Lift the feet. It's a little wibble wobbly today, that's okay. And feet back to the floor when you're ready. Coming back to center and rising up to standing. Now if you're doing the chair again, that's fine. We'll challenge you by lifting the heels though. Sweep the arms up, inhale. Hug the midline, but keep space with the breath. Lift the heels. Bend the knees. Maybe you take that prayer twist to the left. Maybe you come all the way down here. Heels are still lifted for a challenge for those of you in the chair. Still lifted for space for those of you down this low. Take a twist. Take your right elbow to the outside of the left thigh. And a little counter twist of the navel to the right, rib cage to the left. Or if you'd like, you can bring both hands to the floor. This is my problem side, hip surgery side, 3 years ago. So I have to work on this side a lot harder. And for me, I don't really get much lift off, if at all, on this side. So I've just been working on grounding through the hands, lifting the heels, and transferring weight into the hands. But those of you that can lift your feet, go ahead and see if you can do that. Wherever you are in your practice, just recognize it and be grateful. Grateful that you showed up to your mat. Come back to center and make your way onto your bottom. All the way down to your back now. Your knees bent, your feet on the floor in constructive rest pose. Oh, it feels good to be held by the floor here. You might take in a deep breath and just let out a soft sigh of release. Very good. Take your arms next to your body for bridge, and turn your palms to face in towards your center, towards your midline. Thumbs pointing up. Ground through your feet and lift your hips, lift your spine. You might lift the back of the heart. Bring your shoulder blades a little closer together. Notice I said a little. And if it's accessible to you, you can interlace your fingers now and press down through the pinky sides of your hands, wrists, forearms, elbows, triceps. Feel that the space behind the back of the eyes are rooted, so your throat space is open. The heart is open and lifted. And from the heart space, out through the knees, the center of the knees, towards the front end of your mat, towards the direction of your toes. Just a few more breaths here. And then release the clasp of your hands first. Broaden the shoulder blades away from the spine. Unravel your spine, one vertebra at a time. Good. Now, some of you might want to take a wheel pose or Urdhva Dhanurasana. Some of you might want to do a supported bridge. So in that case, if you're doing supported bridge, you'll need a block. Some of you might want to do bridge again, which is what we had just done before. So I'll show real quick supported bridge. You go into bridge, you take the block, you place it underneath the back of the pelvis at the sacrum, creating your own personal hip shelf. And I like to have the palms open on this variation. Eyes looking directly up. Maybe they're closed. Those of you going into wheel pose, you'll just take your hands now, place them so that your fingertips are pointing towards your hips, just right there next to your ears, and grounding through the feet, through the hands. Lift your hips, lift your heart, open the heart space, press through your feet strongly. Use your legs here and breathe. It's really tapping into your breath and your heart. Good way to stretch the abdominals after all that front core work. To come out, you can bend your knees, maybe lift your heels to give your low back some space, lower your head, lower your hips. And I know some of you may want to bring your knees in towards the heart space. But let's not bunch up the hip flexors after lengthening them. If you have the block underneath the hip for supported bridge, take that out. We'll take the arms out into a T, with the knees bent and the feet about as wide as the mat. We'll move into some windshield wipers. Just take a breath in here. As you exhale, knees to the right, head rolls to the left. As you inhale, head and knees to center. As you exhale, knees to the left, head rolls to the right. Now you might continue to move back and forth in these windshield wipers with the pace of your breath. Or if you'd like, you can pause with your knees over to one side and just continue here to breathe as you pause. Enjoying your breath. Enjoying the state and the quality of your body after sacred movement, this connection to the self on a very deep level. You might notice that all of the static, the busy thoughts that were in your mind before practice have become further and further apart or quieter. Or maybe your just nervous system feels quieter, calmer. You feel more at ease. If you took your legs to one side and you paused, go ahead and even that out to the other side. center, head to center. And we'll come into Shavasana, final relaxation, which to me really is the Maha pose, the king, the queen pose of the practice. It's what we're working towards while we're practicing. So the mind becomes quieter, the body becomes a little fatigued so that we can rest. So if you want to pad your head, you can with a blanket here. And some people prefer to have their knees bent in constructive rest pose, or straight. If you prefer that, that's fine as well. Either hands on the belly or arms outwards of the body with the palms up. And just taking some time here to settle into this shape that you've chosen for relaxation. And turning back into the rhythm of your breath. Feeling the gentle rise and fall of the belly. Feeling the expansion of the rib cage on the inhale and that gentle contraction on the exhale. Feeling that now with each exhalation that the bones of your body are getting heavier. That your bones of your body are 1,000 pounds. They're becoming so heavy that you're feeling very grounded now into your mat, into the floor beneath the mat, into the earth beneath the building. As the bones of your body become heavier and feel more grounded, can you sense or imagine that the muscles around the bones of your body are softening? Releasing the effort through your muscles so that your muscles relax completely, letting go. And as your muscles become softer, releasing their grip and their effort, feel that the skin around your muscles becomes very soft, like a soft piece of silk draped across the body. The body relaxed, mind at ease. Not trying to direct anything, not trying to control anything right now. Just letting the breath breathe you. As you rest. slowly and gently bring your awareness back to your body and back to your breath, breathing into your center, breathing your center more spacious, open, aware, mindful. And begin now to move from your center. You might begin to move your arms, your hands, your fingers, your legs, your feet, your toes. And then bending the knees, reach your arms overhead and roll to your right side. Extend your left leg long towards the end of your mat and use your hands and the leverage of your left leg to come up into a seat, a different way to come up. Joining me in a comfortable seat, you can sit on a blanket if you would like. And we'll close by bringing the hands in towards the heart space in Anjali Mudra. Noticing the state and the quality of the mind, the breath, the heart. Remember that the quieter you become, the more that you can hear. And it's now more than ever that we need refuge. We need this practice so that we can better respond to the ever-changing events in the world. They're coming at us at a rapid pace. So get to your mat, your meditation cushion, get outside and play in the dirt and feel the sun on your face. I want to thank you for practicing with me today. Namaste.